No longer in my 30s. It's the Completely Unnecessary Podcast for Tuesday, May 12th, 2020. That's behooded Ian Ferguson.
It's me. I could probably take the hood off.
I'm old man Pat Contry. Today in the show, we're talking about lots of fun stuff. We're talking about Billy Mitchell suing a YouTuber named Apollo Legend for $1 million to Sega Saturn 25th anniversary. We'll talk about that Quibi streaming app service. That's an interesting little thing going on. Patreon poll, Q&A, talk about dog murder as well in Last of Us 2.
Jesus, why?
And other things. So we're on Hair Update Week 14 now. Now it's starting to get a little troublesome. I predicted this a couple weeks back. It's starting to get a little flurryish with the hair right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm going to go out and protest at my state's capital in order to reopen barbershops and haircutters, but I'm just saying I might have to do something about this myself in a few weeks if it goes a little bit longer there. Real quick at the top, we got a Blu-ray giveaway from our friends at Paramount. Are giving away 5 Blu-rays of Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie. Get ready for epic fun and supersonic action when everyone's favorite hedgehog raises his home in the blockbuster hit Sonic the Hedgehog. This giveaway is in support of the release of the film, which is available on digital now and arrives on 4K and Blu-ray on May 19th. So just follow me on Twitter, and I'm going to tweet this contest out probably tomorrow, Wednesday the 13th. I'm going to tweet it out and just retweet that and follow me. The same thing I did with the giveaways for the certain NES guidebook, and they're going to pick a winner. Paramount. There you go, Ian. You might get this copy.
Yay.
If you're nice to me, this podcast. Thanks so much to them again. Our buddies there at Paramount. So, yeah, I did my 40th birthday stream on Saturday. I think you were in there for a little bit. One of the first times you checked out one of my streams, I think.
No, I've checked your streams out before. I was in there for a little bit. It didn't seem like you were having fun with the games.
No, that's totally a mischaracterization. I was having fun with the games. Of course, Ian, the top.
Okay, I'm just saying.
I cut my fucking legs out from under me.
I did. I just say you didn't seem like you were having very much fun with the games.
I had a lot of fun playing Bonk.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun playing Vigilante. I did not have a lot of fun playing because I realized with Vigilante that the only way I beat it as a kid is that you conserve enough health because the last guy is bullshit and you are bound to take hits no matter what. So it's just a war of attrition. And that's what we discovered. There was no strategy at all to beating that guy because if you jump kick him once, he'll hit you the next 3 times, then you kick him again. So Vigilante can eat me. That game is not good, but I had it as a kid, so I loved it. But it was a fun. I
love it. I think it's a fun game.
No, it's not. Anyway, so we raised money for the COVID-19 Solidarity Response Fund. So that's going to be. I'll be putting that money in as soon as the bits come in this month from Twitch. We raised about $1,050, and Google does a $2-to-$1 match. So it ended up being around $3,100 or something like that. Pat math there. So thanks so much for coming out. Otherwise, all I did on my 40th birthday was I ordered Mexican food at night. I ordered a breakfast burrito.
What'd you get? Breakfast burrito, surf burrito?
Yes. My favorite breakfast burrito. And I got nachos, and it's becoming harder and more difficult for me to eat nachos month over month. I might have to stop with the nachos, but the burrito is not as bad as the greasiness of the nachos. My body's chemistry is changing a little bit the past couple months, eating a little cleaner there. But no, it was a nice 40th birthday. I don't look at my 40th as being something where my life is half over or things. It's not like this divergent path or a self-reflective point like some people when they get to be 40. Like I think that was happening to me more when I turned 30. Because I turned 30 when I was in San Diego next year, a year after I moved here, less than a year. When I turned 30, I was like, okay, now I'm 30. I'm no longer like young kid anymore. I got to get my life together. When I was 30, I didn't really have much figured out yet in terms of what I really wanted to do. I hated my day job, and I had really nothing established here yet in San Diego in terms of like really friends or like even a routine yet when I was here less than a year. But obviously, a lot's happened the past 10 years. YouTube channel got a lot bigger. Podcast started. Lots of projects and video game years and books and things like that, and apps that
Odds and sods of things, as my
Odds and
grandmother
sods?
would used to say. Yes.
Is that a real saying?
That's what my grandma used to
Is
say.
that an old timey
Odds and
Scottish
sods of
saying?
things.
Odds and sods.
Odds and sods.
So I don't look at it being 40 as like being shameful or like, oh wow, now you're officially old. I think you just have to realize if you're at a point in your life where are you comfortable with where you are in your progress or not. And that's where I think where age comes into it. If you're not happy with where you are or where you're even going, then some people I think might look at being 40 as like something to be shameful of, or oh, I can't believe it. Otherwise, I'm like, I'm fine. I got stuff going on. I got stuff I got buns in the oven. No, I don't. Wait, I got what is it? Fires in the pan? No, I always get that saying wrong. I got stuff.
You got pokers in a lot of different fires.
And that sounds dirty, but okay. You don't get that burn in certain areas. What do you think, Ian? When you're going to be 40 in what, a couple years?
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
You don't care?
No.
It's just a number?
No, I am oddly not particularly concerned about my age, and oddly not particularly concerned with mortality. I have...
You want to go tomorrow? I can arrange it. I know a guy.
I mean, it's... I don't... I always worry about other people dying, not me dying.
Really?
Yeah, I don't want other people to die, but I'm honestly not that concerned.
Do you ever think about like
myself.
Memorial Day they would hold if you died? Do you ever think about who would come out for it? That's the only thing I think about. It's like who would actually come out and like show up.
I don't worry about. No, it's strange. Despite the fact that I've been known to have I have bad anxiety, and that's known. Death and mortality is not on the top of my list of things that I get concerned about. It's just it's gonna happen. I wish I was a little bit more concerned about it because I feel like it might put a little bit more of a fire under my ass to do some things, but I'm not.
Well, it shouldn't be mortality that pushes you to want to do something. It should be like, I guess self-growth and
just the realization that time is limited, I'm great. That's good. Anyway, just move nothing. It was just it was good timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm not particularly worried about turning 40. I've been
let's
saying
put it this way. If I felt the same way I did at 30 now, I would feel like shit. Like I say, because I was directionless, kind of aimless at 30. I had moved here to kind of get a fresh start. And yeah, I had my YouTube channel, but I had like, in 2010, I had like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. It was definitely just a hobby. That's when people say they look at the good old days of your channel. It's like there were never good old days because no one was watching those videos back then. It was not going to be a career at all or anything. And podcasting wasn't really a thing 10 years ago yet, really. It was still like not even a thought to most people as a widespread thing. So a lot's happened obviously the last 10 years, and YouTube's changed, and there wasn't, look at what's happened the past 10 years, and I guess everyone's adapted with the times.
Sure.
Like it's the amount of technology that's changed in 10 years is like almost 10, 20, 30. It's like 30 years any other time in history, at least to me, with how much has changed, even on the internet, with technology and smartphones and everything. So I'm just rambling now. I'm talking like an old man. Yeah, I can't program the VCR. So Ian, what have you been doing? Have you been getting upset about not being able to do things with the staying in, or now you're making do?
No, I'm making do. I'm getting a little cagey, but honestly, I think as the time has gone, I've been getting a little bit cagey this past week, but it was interesting. As time has gone on, when I started, when the lockdown started, I couldn't do anything but pace. That's all I did. I just paced back and forth.
It's good salsa.
Couldn't. No, it's not. Ooh, that's bad salsa.
I think it's better. It's a better shelf brand salsa.
I guess you could do worse. Yes.
Yes, you could. Anyway.
You could do Tostitos salsa.
Oof, that's like water.
Not good. Not good at all. But and I couldn't play games, read, or anything like that. But I've gotten to the point where I can relax a little bit. Been able to play some of my games, stuff like that. A lot of PC Engine, obviously. I mentioned that. But past couple weeks, I've been playing a ton of Streets of Rage 4. I want to touch quickly on the limited run situation that seemed to be a brief moment in drama. There was basically I don't want to say too much because I'm not entirely sure what's known and what's not, but largely limited run is actually, from what I understand, pretty fairly developer pro developer. The reason why you see some of these games that they've put out get other print runs or different print runs is they don't sign exclusivity deals with their developers. That's very much a pro developer move. Developer gets the rights back to their game, and they can go do what they want with it.
Sure.
So what happened was Limited Run had a limited edition
Last time.
and the game developer .mu went and did another one with Merge in the UK. There was a kerfluffle over apparently there was a news article that came out that said that Limited Run was trying to block them from putting that up.
Oh, it was actually a news article?
Believe it, I was. Let me see if I can pull up the exact article. But essentially, there was falsehoods thrown around saying that Limited Run was trying to block people from ordering this Merge one, which isn't true.
Because you can still order the Streets of Rage one on their. I mean, they're
yeah. So what happened was people got mad because the shipping from for the Limited Run ones is expensive. People were canceling and ordering the Merge one, which is fine. You know, get the one that's cheaper for you in terms of shipping. But people seem to think that there was some sort of impropriety coming from Limited Run with it. And I think it's odd that Limited Run can get themselves into a situation like this by being pro-developer and then end up being called anti-developer.
Well,
it's dumb. People don't know what's going on.
There's a weird anti-Limited Run backlash.
I've been vocal with my issues with Limited Run, but at the heart of it, they do a lot of good as well. I'm just saying I'm not going to pretend like I've never said anything bad about Limited Run, but a lot of the problems they've fixed and they've worked on over the years. A lot of the issues that I had have been fixed. It's a growing business, and it was a very new idea at the time.
It's a company that's only 3.5 years old.
Yeah.
At this point, I mean, that's all it is.
Right.
It started with a handful of people, and they're growing by leaps and bounds, and now they have. It used to be like, oh, we do 1 or 2 releases a month. Now it's like a release every other day. You can't keep track of it anymore. And yes, there's a lot of games that you would never even heard of if not for a Limited Run doing the releases. And so they are making developers a lot more money and getting them a lot more exposure than what you would have seen before. And of course, now there's a few different companies that are doing these limited types of releases, based off of what Limited Run and their success. So the attacks I see against him are just so strange, and a lot of it comes down to why are these so limited, and it's a scalper market, and it's like, it is what it is. They'd go out of business if they took one wrong step and say, oh, we're going to do 200,000 of these, and they didn't sell them, they'd be done.
Well, that's kind of my point. They don't really operate like that anymore. It's mostly a pre-order based system, which fixes that. People get the stuff that they want now. No one's really worried about getting it anymore. I think a lot of people just hold a lot of resentment from Limited Run from
those
a few
times
years
when it was only that.
from where that was actually a much bigger deal. Yes, their limited editions are they have boxed sets and things like that are truly limited, but that's no different than anywhere else.
Sure.
If you just want a physical copy of the game, you can get it. So that's what I'm going to say, and I don't want to be accused of
going to bat for him?
Yeah,
I'll go to bat. They're nice people.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't want to be accused of there being some sort of impropriety here.
No,
because people will do that. But the fact of the matter is, I feel like Limited Run has very much turned into a company from its beginning to now has very much fixed a lot of their problems. I think they're a good company, and I think the issue really does boil down to, by being good to developers, they found themselves in this situation where many people are now thinking that by canceling their orders, because now there's another company doing a limited edition in the US, they think they're doing the right thing by canceling their orders with Limited Run to get this other company's version. This other company's version wouldn't exist if Limited Run hadn't initially done the right thing and let the developers have the exclusivity rights back to their game.
Sure.
So it's one of those
silliness.
It's one of those instances where doing the right thing will cause you to get bit in the ass sometimes.
It's just silliness. We're talking about physical versions of games and people bitching about what company. It's the most silly. I hate to say first world problems. Where it's like the pinnacle of worrying about something that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I know people get on and say, "Oh, you're allowed to." Yeah, you're allowed to bitch about whatever you want, but it's like at some point, how fucking silly are you looking?
Right. Oh no, there's too many options for your physical copy of a game now. What? Jesus Christ.
I can buy from another. Shut up. Oh, I forgot to bring up my Cats in Space card that my friend gave me. I'm gonna put it up here.
That's a pretty fucking badass card. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's going up here.
Anyway,
that's an expensive card.
It's a good card.
That's one of those cards that costs like $10 to get.
Yeah. Yep, thereabouts. Anyway, continuing on, there was some exciting news, at least for me this morning, that came quickly. I'll just touch on it briefly.
Came quickly, huh?
Tony Hawk 1 and 2 is getting a remaster and re-release for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, not Switch, sadly. At least not right now. I think Steam was the other place. This was announced via a text message from Tony Hawk to people who signed up for his text messaging service where he will text you. Tony Hawk's
a text message service?
I guess. Tony Hawk's online personality is one of the greatest. His Twitter is one of the best Twitters you can follow.
I don't think I've ever been on seen one of his tweets. And I think
it's hilarious. It's existential dread in a Twitter. It's all about him going places and people being like, "You look like Tony Hawk," and him being like, "Yep, that's because I am." Like, he's nice about it. He takes it all in stride, but it's really fun to watch Tony Hawk grow old. I wish
like almost 50 by now.
He is 50.
Wow.
I hope I age as gracefully as Tony Hawk. So part 1 and 2 are coming to those systems. The first thing that I think a lot of people asked, and I asked, was, is it going to have the original soundtrack? And yes, both of the games are going to have the original soundtrack. I'm going to be skating to B-Boy Document 98 again like it was the original days. It's a fucking great song. Bring it up.
I played a little Tony Hawk with, again, on my cousin's PlayStation and my friend's PlayStation. But yeah, they were fun.
It was B-Boy Document 99. I'm sorry. Fucking great track, though. Fantastic track. This comes out actually sooner than, well, no, not soon enough. September 4th. My mind is all, I guess that's kind of soon.
That's
what is
4
it,
months.
May? It's May, right? Yeah, it's May. I don't know. The fucking passage of time is all screwed up.
It really shows you just how just ill-equipped we are to handle anything, because we've been in lockdown for like not even 2 months really.
No.
And we're going out of our fucking minds already.
As creatures, we need routine. A little bit of this has really taught me like how important it is when you get old and they say after you retire you need a routine. You need a fucking routine. You need one. You need to do something.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I'm at home most of the time anyway, but I've been working in things like I've actually been exercising a lot more the past couple months, so that's helpful. Haven't been eating that much. I've been eating a little bit. Whatever. So here's the point. You're happy with seeing the remakes coming out, obviously, because for a while everyone just wanted to get a new one.
Well, I'm happy with the remakes because I think the second game is probably the most perfect one.
Okay.
The first one has great level design. They're adding all of the new things that were added, I think, through at least part 4, if not further, have been added. So there'll be reverts, manuals, lip tricks, and
say lip tricks.
Lip tricks, yeah.
Not flip. What?
Lip.
Oh, lip. Oh, the lip of the. Okay.
Yes.
Like grinding.
Like coping. Well, sure. There's going to be some things added to it that weren't in the original versions.
Gotcha.
And it looks like all around this should be a much better release for Tony Hawk than the ill-fated Pro Skater 5. I did see that there was people who were upset that it wasn't a skate game or it wasn't a new Tony Hawk. I liked the Skate series, and I would love to see another, Skate game. But I am very, very happy that this is coming out. I've been craving Tony Hawk lately, so
I can't. Maybe they'll put in a couple extra little bonus little areas or whatever. You don't know.
I'm sure they will. But with online play, all the original modes, I think the Create-A Park will be back, which is one of my favorite things. If there's online sharing for Create-A Parks.
That's be awesome, right?
That's it.
We can hang out and you can just watch people skate too, and be like, yeah, we'll just hang out.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to that quite a bit.
And then let's see, it's going to be PC, Xbox One, PS4. We don't know about Switch yet. Probably not. It'll blow up your Switch. I love that we're back in the mode how it used to be, because the fact that they kept this under wraps until only 4 months before it's getting released, that's how you do it. I guess the best you can.
Sure.
It used to be like with Fire Pro, they'd announce like a month and a half before those iterations, and they come out like, okay, great. So not worry about, oh, it's going to come out 3 years from now. I'd rather be surprised like this if I was looking forward.
Nintendo, I think, does a generally good job of that on their Direct. People say that, there's not a lot of news in the Directs, but it's because they don't. With some of their games, they'll lead by a couple of years, like obviously a new Zelda and a new Mario. But a lot of times the Direct, it's
available
like,
tomorrow. What?
Available now, or comes out in 3 months. And yeah, I think other companies are probably doing that a bit better now too. I just don't pay attention to them as much. It's nice that the time from announcement to release date is pretty short.
Yeah,
you can do that.
I think it's more effective to do that than going years off for especially a lot of these little games. Like Clubhouse games comes out, what is it, in like 3-4 weeks? That's going to still be on people's minds. If they said, a year out, it's like, who cares? It's not big enough of a game to care about it.
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of the way the information is consumed. Now, back when magazines were your main source of video game news, you needed to be reminded about that stuff once a month for a while to get interested in it. But now they can bring it up 3 months in advance and release screenshots every single day. Yeah, and you won't forget. It's easy. The hype train has a shorter track.
Yeah, it's easy to remember movie trailers versus just seeing screenshots in a magazine too. It hits you a little bit different.
Sure.
Speaking of what was a PlayStation game? PlayStation Studios was announced this morning, which is basically just a brand that they're gonna have alongside the first party, or not even first party, the exclusive PlayStation games on PS5. They're just gonna they're gonna have it under its own umbrella, I guess, so it's better for the brand cohesion and it doesn't confuse people as much, I guess. It's just easier to track. So they had the video, a little like Marvel Studios type of little trailer that if you saw it, and it has characters from Uncharted in there, Little Big Planet, God of War, Ratchet and Clank, Horizon Zero Dawn, and The Last of Us. So it's like we're trying to get it all under one umbrella here, just so we know that there's still a reason for you to own a specific console versus not. That's basically what it is.
It's getting harder and harder for me to be convinced of any of that.
Like with the Marvel, like studios, they last like 30 seconds. There's a lot of stuff going on. With this, it's like, it's like 7 different games.
Right.
Then you're out. I mean, there's more than 7 exclusives, but like it's not. It's going to be hard.
Well, I mean, they're going to show the big ones.
I'm going to show the big ones there. You've seen the animated... Let's see, where is it? We think this is a good way to let consumers know that if they see it, then the quality games they've come to expect from us are here. And this brand, your favorite word, will exist for well-known existing franchises as well as brand new franchises we have yet to explore. Sony's PS4 games will also carry the PlayStation Studios branding, but it won't be ready in time for the launch of The Last of Us Part 2 or Ghosts of Tsushima, with they're both to arrive later this summer. It'll also miss the launch of Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, although Lempel says that any future games it releases on other platforms will also carry the branding. Oh, so if it releases elsewhere, it'll still say PlayStation Studios, even if it's not on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Got it.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I get it.
Which is still, I guess, hey, it's a first step forward toward not needing to own the console anyway if I can get it on the PC. For the average consumer, it's not always clear what games come directly from our worldwide studios. Well, there you go. Just a little thing. I mean, it's smart, I guess, to do that.
Yeah.
Just to make sure, hey, this is what you're getting with our console there. No thoughts on it besides that?
No, I mean, I'm not going to get excited about a new splash screen.
All right. I want to talk about this Last of Us 2 thing. This is from a Polygon article. GameStop is way too excited about The Last of Us 2 dog murder. It's listed as one of the game's features on GameStop's website. And it is... It's kind of funny that that's something that's... Here's the thing. I'm not sure GameStop wrote that up, though. I think the studio might have written that up.
Nope. If you read the article, it says that the studio did not send any directive to them to include that. That was very much GameStop.
Then they're insane then.
Yes. I mean, someone would be insane regardless, but it was said in the article somewhere, it says that they weren't directed to include
Okay, then I'm going to read it. Dogs. One of the most noticeable new features of the game is the inclusion of dogs. These dogs are in the game to follow your scent and will attack you as soon as they've sniffed you out. The game doesn't pull any punches or, in quotes, stray from the idea that while you're playing as Ellie in a struggle to survive, killing dogs is necessary. You'll also have to deal with the fact that each dog has an owner, which will call out the dog's name and cry in absolute horror when they discover their lifeless furry best friend. You've been warned. I don't think this is selling me on the game.
No.
With this write-up, with this ad copy.
No, it doesn't sell me on it either.
It's funny that it goes from that to puzzles and dedicated dodge button, which, okay, that's cool. Dedicated dodge button, that sounds great. I don't see why, even if this I guess this is true in the game. I don't want to play a game like this regardless. I don't like games like this, but that's horrific. First of all, I don't want to experience that in a game, but to even write about it makes it seem awful.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
bad.
Even The Walking Dead doesn't do shit like that, where it's like having your pets being killed willy-nilly. I can't remember many times The Walking Dead, and I watched the first 5 or 6 seasons where like a dog was brutally killed. Like, even they stay away from stuff like that. I don't want to see my little kitty cat, being killed by some zombie or some asshole in the post-apocalypse.
I get it. They're going for gritty realism, and I get it that that's what some people want. I don't. Not right now, at least. I like depressing things. Like, I love depressing albums, but most depressing albums are over in about 45 minutes to an hour. I love depressing movies, but depressing movies, generally, an hour and a half to 2 hours. I like depressing things that I can get in and done with fairly quickly. I don't know that I want to play a 30-hour game that's just going to gruelingly fucking beat me in the eyeballs with sadness. Like, I don't want to do it.
This is what I'm going to say to these dog owners in this post-apocalyptic future here. Maybe not train your dogs to kill. Maybe you keep them nice and cuddly and they come up to Ellie and you just pet them. And then everyone wins.
No, that sounds bad, though. You need protection.
Would you train a cute dog in the future to kill?
No, I wouldn't.
Random people?
But I probably wouldn't stop it from being defensive of me.
This doesn't sound like defensive. These are seeking you out and chomping at you.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it forces me to stab one in the neck with a screwdriver. That's what's going on there. Well, there you go. That's going to be a fun game. Nintendo took down the unofficial Super Mario 64 PC port. We didn't even get a chance to really discuss this that much because it happened so quickly, but this is not obviously a shock to anyone.
No, it's not. There's really nothing more that can be said about it. From what I hear, from what that article even says, it's probably still out there hiding somewhere, but it's going to stay hidden, and all of the, major download links that were found were shut down. It sucks. But I don't think anyone was, expecting it to stay up. And at this point, I don't think anyone making this stuff is expecting it to stay up either.
No.
And this is one of those instances where I can't fall back on the old crutch that I usually use in this instance. Like, if it's a fan game, you can say, well, that's cool that you were inspired, but make it your own. Give it its own title. Do your own thing with it. That way Nintendo won't come after you. This is a direct port of a game.
It's the game.
It was, this person wanted to do it and show that they could, and they did, and I'm certain they knew it was going to get taken down, and I have a feeling that they're probably not very upset about that or anything. This
happened like 7 times now.
Yeah, this is just what was going to happen.
The Metroid Prime re-release or remaster before the re-release.
Metroid 2.
Metroid
Return of Samus.
And then there's the Pokemon game we spoke about, where it was literally, it's a Pokemon game. Just using Nintendo's assets.
It was really nice.
And there was like 3 other ones that have happened. And Nintendo is more litigious the more you encroach on them selling. You're putting out a product that they sell or can make money off of. So they don't care about everything, but when it's the game stuff directly, yeah, and especially when allegedly or a rumor that they might be remaking this themselves, and obviously you're stepping on their toes directly.
Sure.
So it's like, of course, they're going to come after you hardcore on that. Let's see. I was going to talk about the Last of Us. Excuse me, The Last Dance, not Last of Us. The Last Dance on ESPN. About the Bulls in their last season, but you haven't been watching it.
No, I'm going to watch it once the last episodes come out. I'm just going to binge it.
It's outstanding.
I need to get I need to cleverly access the ESPN streaming app. Yeah.
But it's on TV as well. You can come over and they're all on my YouTube TV, which is, by the way, YouTube TV is fantastic. I should have got rid of cable like 2 years ago. Anyway, I love it because Michael Jordan was like my arch nemesis in the 90s, because if it wasn't for Michael Jordan, the Knicks probably would have won like 2 championships, because they went through the Knicks like 3 or 4 times out of their 6 championships to get to the finals.
Knicks. Fuck the Knicks.
So, but seeing how much of a competitive psychopath is, from Jordan's own words, makes me realize, okay, yeah, I don't feel as bad now that they beat the Knicks, because this is the guy that had to do it. Like, he's
right.
That's why he's the best, because he was brutal competitor, cursing out teammates. They showed the footage of him, like, I mean, we knew about this, but seeing him calling a teammate a hoe, like, make that free throw, hoe, like, and it's like, and the guy he's talking to was like the nicest guy in the world. It's like, yeah, you know, take it in stride. They interview him. He's like, you know, that's Jordan, but it's like he was vicious Jordan to his teammates. Talk about getting in the fight with Steve Kerr and other teammates, and man. And yeah. So anyway, watch The Last Dance. Any ESPN documentary, I say 90% of them are fantastic.
I still got to watch the 30 for 30s. I haven't watched like any of them.
You haven't watched any of them?
I haven't had cable TV since those were really like.
Well, those are all on the ESPN
a big
Plus.
Thing, yeah.
So you can watch those if you bundle it with Disney Plus and Hulu Plus, whatever. It's like,
oh, so Last Dance isn't on ESPN Plus? I heard it was.
Oh, they'll put it on. No, but they're doing 2 episodes every Sunday.
Right.
I'm sure they're on it right afterwards.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah,
I'm saying,
I gotta check that.
But ESPN Plus does have all the 30 for 30s on it. But now they're showing more and more of it. There's nothing else. There's no sports to show. But this is like must-see TV, because there's nothing else to watch for sports. And like I said, Jordan never does interviews. This is a one-time. And I'll just give away one spoiler because it's really telling. At the end of episode, I believe it's 7, when they go through him treating his teammates like assholes and being really hard on people, and that's what he's known for. He talks about the interview asks him, "Are you a nice guy?" And he basically pivots and says, "Listen, this is what it took to be competitive. My teammates had no idea what I went through to get to that point, to be that way." And he starts tearing up. Talking about, he goes, I if you were not going to be as competitive as me and do what I thought it took to win, then I don't need you on my team. And he teared up and like walked away from the interview. Like that like got to him. Like, I guess all the criticism the past like 30 years about how he behaved and how people said, he's an asshole or whatever. So I was like, okay, it's a really unique look into the mind of someone and what it takes to be to get to that level of greatness, and for Jordan, what it took for him to get there is great, fucking great. And I hated Jordan growing up as a Knicks fan. It's finally in this long intro, which I love these now. There's an NWC card on eBay.
Did you ever see it real quick? Did you ever watch a show called Cheap Seats?
No. What was that about?
It was a comedy show. It was Jason Sklar and Randy and Jason Sklar.
The twins?
Yeah, and in the I think it was like 2004, 2005, they did a show, I believe it was on ESPN, where they like basically commentated. It was kind of almost a little bit like a Mystery Science Theater 3K.
Okay, I do remember this.
They did commentary over like the old Wide World of Sports episodes and stuff.
I do remember that. Yes.
And just you bringing up ESPN now, and we had talked about the Ocho a few weeks back. It's made me want to watch them, and it looks like they're all on YouTube. So I think I might have to have a Cheap Seats marathon.
Okay,
they're hilarious.
The good old Sklar brothers. What have they been up to recently?
Season 2, episode 4, Scrabble and Frisbee.
Oh,
Season
Scrabble?
1, episode 1, Mid-South Wrestling, 1980. Yeah,
it's
all good stuff. I love this show.
They showed Scrabble back then in Wild World of Sports. Wow, I had no idea. That's one thing they haven't shown on the Ocho.
Mini golf and stuff like that.
They have not shown chess or board games recently on the Ocho. It's all been more physical things, as far as I know. No chess boxing yet, though. I still want to see chess boxing. I'm really interested in that. Like to chess box a few people. For real. So anyway, there's an NWC car on eBay right now, and we talked about this a couple months ago. It's going for $130,000. Oh, it's buy it now, make an offer. $130,000 for a graded WADA 6.0 NWC grade cart at $130. And I guess the new benchmark for NWC carts is rising based upon private sales and other things going on. So this might become the new normal, but we still have to see one being auctioned off at this price. Now, what's interesting with all this is that we are still waiting for a gold to be sold either privately or find out about it, or on the auction site, a gold NWC card to see what it would go for. That's still sort of in the nether right now. So yeah, I just think it's going to be interesting to see where this goes the next 7 months. I don't know. The people who are throwing this money at this, they have enough money to survive any downturn in the economy for the most part. It's the fringe collectors that won't here. So yeah, I that's all I'm going to say. This is now stuff that's happening more and more. We saw the insane Atari prices. We talked about on the podcast last week to see fucking Adventure go for several $1,000s is fucking insane.
It is
to me.
It is wild.
Or Spider-Man on the 2600. I don't care if it's unopened or not. These are dirt common games that no one talks about or cares about for the most part. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about it. And I will say that my NWC grade is in better condition than the 6.0 if I ever got it graded. I will say that. It's probably like a 7 or 7.5.
If you were to ever get it graded.
If that's the thing, that now we're getting at the weird point in time where people might demand you to do that to sell it. Same way with the old comic book. And I'd be like, no. I'd be like, well, I guess if it's really that much more money to get it graded and have it come back and make sure it's okay, I guess. But, for the NWC grade cards, I always said it's silly to grade them anyway. It's just silly because they're a promo item to begin with. So whatever. So we done with the intro? Are you looking?
I think we're done with the intro.
You looking up Phoebe Cates over there? What are you looking up?